Okay, let's look at this latest question we're working on, which is nearHundred. Whoops, that's not helpful. Given an int n, return true if it's within 10 or 10 of 100 or 200, i.e. if it's between 90 and 110 or between 190 and 210. Now, you could do a bunch of functions where you say, is it greater than or equal to 90, or is it less than or equal to 110? And then you could do another one, is it greater or equal to 190, or less than or equal to 210? But it's an opportunity to learn a new function, if you haven't used it before, math.abs, to give you the absolute value, which computes the absolute value of a number. So why don't we just have a quick look at that? On here, I've got a couple of numbers. I've got num, in fact, maybe calling it num1 would make more sense. I've got num1 is 100 and num2 is minus 100, and then I'm going to print them out. And when I run it, you see there's 100 and there's a minus 100. But if I then change it to math dot, and it will open up all the functions, we're looking for absolute, and then send it number 2, it's going to give us the scale of the number, not the whether it's the polarity, whether it's positive or negative. And if we run it, it's going to give us 100. Okay, well, how does that help us answer our question? Well, on here, we've got this idea of a number coming in, for instance, 93. How do we know whether that's within a 10 of 100 or not? Well, what you could do is you could say int difference equals 100 take away n. Now, at the moment, that's going to give us, if it was 93 coming in, it would give us 7. So we could say, oh, if the number is greater than or less than, less than or equal to 10, then it would work if it was difference. But what happens if it was 107? Well, that would give us 100, take away 107, which is give us negative 7. So it's not going to quite do what we want. Indeed, if it was 120, it would be 100 minus 120 would be negative 20, which is less than or equal to 10. So what we want to do is get the absolute value, not whether it's positive or negative. So int diff equals that. We can go math.apps of that value. And in fact, I'm going to want that for 100, and I'm going to want the same for if it's 200. Oops. So I'm just going to pinch that code and use it again. So for difference 2, but obviously for difference 2, it's whether it's within a certain amount from 200. Okay, and then I'll say if what? Well, if diff1 is less than or equal to, because 90 would still be inclusive of 10. Okay, that's one side of it. And if I return true for that, then that's going to work for some of my functions. So why don't I just do this, otherwise false. And if I run it, we're going to see it works for some of them, but it's not going to work for the 200 ones for obvious reasons, because, well, I'm not there right now. You could have another else-if statement you could use here, or you can use an or function. So remember that was the double lines like this, and say if diff2 is less than or equal to 10, and then we've got our solutions here. So that was making use of the maths.abs